Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is January the 13th and this is episode 44. My name is Roz and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada with my husband and my two kids who are 12 and 11. Today for you I have some works in progress, some events, and some chatter. Let's get started, shall we? What am I working on? Normally, in the first couple segments of this podcast, I talk about what I'm wearing for the day and some finished objects, neither of which I have to talk about again this week. But, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. I am wearing hand knit socks, as I usually do. Maybe I'll put a picture in. I am wearing my 2021 Cozy Knitter Advent socks. Yeah, because they're comfortable and I like them. Is that a good enough reason? I don't know. Yeah, so they're the ones not from this past Christmas, but the one before that. I didn't knit any Advent socks this Christmas. Yeah, I just opened yarn. That's all I wanted to do. No stress, right? So, works in progress. I have a lot of them on the go, and I'm finding that I'm kind of drawn to a few of them, and not other ones. And so I think for this kind of weekly format that I'm doing currently, I'm just going to show projects that I actually worked on this week, and then not talk about the ones that I didn't touch, but know that they are still in the background, and if I decide to frog them or do anything with them, I will talk to you about them, because that is usually a process that I work through, and I'm sure you guys would want to see that. So first up this week, we are going to talk about Mike's socks. All right, so that was sock number 2. Here is sock number 1, and I'm getting there. I'm so close. So on this one, you can just see just at the top there, I've started the 1x1 ribbing. Helps if I hold it towards where the camera is. So if we're looking at them, I've got just that blue and black stripe, and then I will start the 1x1 ribbing on both, and then I'll just, basically have the both done. That's all that's left on each of those. And then that will be that. So yeah, that'll be nice. So I think that I can finish those maybe even this weekend, which would be nice to get those done. So the pattern that I'm using, that I generally use for his socks, although I really would like him to try the even heel socks because I think he would really like that heel, but that pattern that I just showed you is Vanilla Reversed by Annie Fletcher. And yeah, so he likes that pattern. He likes really tall socks. I don't know why, but he does. So I always do toe up socks for him and knit as far as the yarn will take me. Because I split that ball into 2, I will have a little bit of extra on one of them, but I want the socks to go to the same height. So I'm just doing as much as I can, but matching the pattern because, you know, matchy socks is fun. So that is those ones. The yarn is Rico Designs Superba Print, and I'm sure there's a number on it. But yeah, it's a good sock yarn. The first time I've knit with that one, so we'll see how it wears, but it feels very toothy and like, yeah, anyway. The other modifications that I do to that pattern are I do a 3x1 rib on the top of the foot and then all the way around on the leg. So that is Mike's socks, which will be done soon. And then I have other socks to cast on. So once those needles are cleared, I have plans. Next up Sorry, my notes are again over here off camera. So apparently I can't do this without looking at my notes, even though I'm only talking about a couple projects today. Anyway, next up is the love note. Well, that's the back. Doesn't really matter. You will see there are needles on the sleeve because I have finished the body. So, couple pattern adjustments to this one. I decreased the amount of stitches. I decreased 8 decreases under the arms, and then I knit about an inch or two, and then I increased back out again. My mother-in-law has a very hourglass figure, and this is going to be for her. She doesn't like fitted things, like she doesn't like negative ease on things, but she also doesn't like things to be bulky and poofy. She would rather them fit to her form more, but not snugly. Does that make sense? Anyway, so I finished the bottom. I did a tubular bind off, and I'm hoping it's not going to flare too much once it's washed and on, but it is acrylic, so it doesn't really change to what it is here. If I need to, I can rip it back and do something else. But I like the look of the tubular bind off. So yeah, I'm on to the sleeves. We're gonna do 12 inches for the total sleeve, and then I will do the other sleeve, and then I will pick up for the neck and do the neck. I'll probably get her to try it on again when I have the neck partially done, and see if that's how far, did I bump my mic again? See how that's far in she wants it, or whether she wants it more open, how it's kind of fitting once, because then everything will be put together and I can just keep going until it's at a spot that she likes. So yeah, and I have lots of yarn for this. See, that whole giant ball. So yeah, so we can just keep going on that. But yeah, it has turned out beautifully. And now I'm touching the mic again. But I tell you, that tubular bind off, it's also called a sewn bind off or a grafted bind off, I think. But yeah, it takes some time and some concentration. You kind of get into a rhythm of it, but I think with this kind of fluffy yarn too, like it doesn't, it's harder to maintain that tension because the fluff kind of gets caught everywhere with such a long piece of yarn, and so maybe wasn't the best choice, but it does look really nice in the end. So that was that one. Next up, I have an Advent adjacent project. Okay, it's rolling because it's rolling, but look how many colors I've gotten done. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, so this is the Colorful Geometry Loop by Petra Makova. Oh, you guys, it's gonna be here. So this is a looped cowl, which I wear a lot of, and yeah, this is just, the colors are so good, and you can see the texture pattern on it. It's looking a little, when you just hold it, it looks a little bubbly, but I think it's gonna block and drape beautifully. This yarn is my 2021 Advent from Ginger Snap That, and yeah, it is a fade, but not like it's not like totally defined colors. Like you can see, like this it goes like bright pink with purples in it, and then a lighter pink, and then this has got like a bit of orange in it, and this is like the blushiest of pinks. It's looking white on the camera, but it is actually pink with like orange. Let's see if I can find one. See, like there's these orange speckles in it, which are kind of in this too, right? So and then there's a bit of pink in this one, and then it goes, goes through, and now we're getting into the greens. So let me pull this out. So we're working on this inside color right now, which is more like darker purples and blues, and then we're going to move to this, which is blue and green. And then, so that will be the end of 10 colors. Do I dare pull it out? Nope, it's over here. I'm gonna need it soon enough. And then we go to this. Get rid of my hair. So then there's there's 5 colors in here that we'll move our way through. So we'll go from this to these ones. Hold on. I might as well pull them all out while we're talking about it. And then we'll go from these, start in the middle here and go out to this like browny yellow. And then we'll move from those oranges into the reds. So, oh, that last red is just so good. So let's see. Oh, I'm bumping the mic. Okay. So there we go. So those are all the colors. And then I was getting frustrated with the ends. So I wove them all in and it's all done. Snipped and everything. Well, not closely snipped. There's like that much left, which just gives you a little bit of playroom when you're blocking it, so that they don't poke out the other side or anything. And then I just picked up the other edge. Helps if I show you the right way around, and put it on a spare needle that I had just sitting around, which is kind of annoying because now I got to make sure that I knit onto the correct needle. Maybe I'll put some stoppers on this one to kind of hold it together out of the way, but that way when I'm done, I'm just ready to graft together. Yeah, I was just finding all the stuff dangling at the bottom too much, so I just cleaned that up. Yeah, so there we go. What's the back again, But yeah, I am loving those colors. I am excited to see how all these colors gradiate together. And there's plenty of each color left over. I have not been counting how much I have been working on for each project. I figure I'll just weigh them at the end, and when I'm finished kind of knitting all of these sort of advent yarn things, and then or I'll just put them into some sort of scrappy project. I have thought of doing a multicolored foolproof cowl. So the foolproof cowl I have 3 I don't know. It is a garter stitch double looped cowl, and yeah, it's an awesome pattern and you should definitely consider knitting it. I've been thinking a lot about making another one, and I think that using up all the like leftover bits from all of the advent calendars and maybe putting them in just like random orders, like literally just like pick in a bag and throw it in, and not paying attention to it, because I think all of the color palettes will be okay together because it's like rainbow. So not having like a set rainbow or anything like that, or maybe doing that, I don't know. But even with the advents that I have from 2022, because I have 2 yarn advents, that those colors will all mix nicely together and just kind of throw in stripes, you know, and I don't know what I'm trying to say now. Oh man, you guys, it's Friday. What am I gonna it's Friday. It's been a week. It's been really busy at work, so my brain is just mush right now. But I do think that a foolproof with just random scraps in fun colors would be super fun. Okay, moving on to my next project. It is with the same yarn that I was just talking about. So I'm doing the hat, an advent hat, and this pattern is Home for the Holidays, and it's by my friend Carla Ray, and it's the Ginger Snap That 2021 advent. Well, one of her advents. Anyway, Santa's favorite, maybe? I don't know. This is a tale of woe, you guys. Like, serious, what was I thinking? So I was talking last week about how I felt like the hat was too small. I put it on some try-it-on tubing, and literally it was like this on my head. Like it was tiny. It was like almost preemie size. I don't know. And then I looked at the pattern again and realized that I was on like a way smaller needle. Not like one size smaller, but like way, way too small. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll go up a needle size so I'm closer to this size, because I do knit, generally I have to go down a needle size from whatever anybody does. I didn't gauge swatch. I just was like, whatever, it'll be fine. It's a hat. It'll be fine. So I went down a needle size, did the whole tubular cast on again, knit like the whole brim of the hat, multiple days worth of the like multiple color switches, and tried it on again. And it still didn't fit. And then I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. So then I had this brilliant idea that I would use some random gray and other sock yarn that I had lying around and make a double brimmed hat, and then I can do my provisional cast on, knit the inside brim, and then knit the outside brim with the fun colors, and it doesn't really matter. It's nice fleechy sock yarn on the inside. It'll be nice, and it'll be double brim, which will be super warm. So I cast on with the same size from the pattern, just cast on the amount of stitches you're supposed to have for the total hat with a provisional cast on, and started knitting. And then I measured it. Well, I didn't measure it. I just held it. I'm doing it on Magic Loop. So I just held it up to my head, and it was like that much too big. Like it was, it was like inches too big. Like this could have been a cowl. Like it could have like easily gone over my head and flopped around. Like it was huge. So then I ripped that out. So then I started again. So I'm doing 80 stitches, and I did do a provisional cast on and knit with this gray, which kind of goes into this dark purple, and there's gray. It like held double with a dark gray and this gradiating gray into the purple, which is Goth Kitty from Felici, which is a Knit Picks yarn, and just some plain gray that I had. And then it goes from the gray, it's hard to see, it goes from the gray into the purple. So that lighter purple is where the actual advent starts. But I think it looks really cool the way it goes with like the dark purple. So if I hold up this, you can see it's the same kind of colors. So yeah, basically when I finish whatever color in the cowl, I just put the ball of yarn in here, and this is now at the spot. I have done the whole brim. It's an 1.5 inch brim on each side, and then you just take out the provisional cast on, put it on a different needle, and then knit two together all the way around, one from the front needle, one from the back needle, and that gets you your double brimmed hat, so it's not going to slip around and fall anywhere. I did it so you'd knit two together underneath, because I wanted this gray to be underneath. You can do it so that it goes on top, and then it becomes like a line, so it looks like you have a fold up brim, but it's attached, so it's not going to flop around. Anyway, and then yeah, still holding the colors doubled, so you get that kind of gradient effect. And I am doing 4 rows with each yarn. So I did 2 rows with that Felici sock yarn, the dark purple, and day 1. And then I did, like that, so continued on there. And then I did 2 rows of day 1 and day 2, and then 2 rows of day 3, or day 2 and day 3, and then 2 rows of day 3 and 4. So they're zigzagging up, and that gives you a beautiful gradient. So I'm ready to add some more colors in that. That is a very long story for a hat. It's a hat, guys. It's not complicated. I've knit 100 hats, if not more, and I don't know what I was thinking. I had never done the tubular cast on before, but when it was so small the first time, I should have realized what was happening and done something different. But I didn't want to do the tubular cast on again, so did the double brim. I'm really happy with it now, and now that is just a round and round project, except I have to stop every 2 rows and add a new color. And I've got quite a few now. I've got 3 or 4, so I've got maybe I'll do that one during the movie tonight. Maybe I'll just work on Mike's socks because they're just straightforward. I don't know. That is it for works in progress. Oh man, I think I need some more sugar this afternoon or something. Maybe I need to eat some dinner. I'm going to move on to events. I talked about all of these events last week, so if you want to skip this section, I do put chapter markers in so you can skip sections, but I am going to talk about the 4 different events that I am currently participating in. The first one is the pigskin party, and that is rapidly coming to a close, so I am trying to finish off any projects that I can that will count for that. Kind of just want to have some finished projects too, so Pigskin Party is hosted by the Down Cellar Studio podcast, and this follows roughly the football season, basically anything that you knit between those times, so started and finished within that time frame, counts for imaginary points, and then you get entered in draws. So, and there's all sorts of details and rules and whatever. It is very open though, like it's not you can knit pretty much anything you want and it'll count for something. So head over to her website, which will be linked down below, to find out more about that knit along. Secondly is the Northern Knits anniversary knit along. They do one, well, I don't know if they do them every year, but they've been doing the past couple years. And this year is 6 years, which is iron, candy, or amethyst if you're going by like marriage standards. Traditions. So I am knitting the amethyst shawl in a beautiful purple color, but I have not worked on it this week. So anyway, I am participating in that knit along, and you can check out their website at Northern Knits. I will link it down below. They do fun cows throughout the year as well. Usually like quarterly, at least like kind of a 3-month ballpark. So you have a good chance to finish something. So, and they have awesome prizes. Not that I'm knitting for the prizes, but I'm knitting just for the fun of it. And next up is the Imagine Knitting Cowl, which they have been running on the Imagine Landscapes website for a couple years now. So this is a podcast hosted by 2 sisters, and they want your imaginary knitting to become reality. So that's what this knit along is all about. And I am knitting the Stormborn shawl, the sparkly one, which I did not knit on this week. And maybe next week. So, but I'm still imagine knitting that one. I still want to work on it. It is more involved though, because it is lace, but I'm excited about it. And the last event that we have is We Have Yarn for That is hosting a birthday make along, and they want you to work on anything that hasn't been touched in quite a few months and finish it off. And I believe that one just goes till the end of February. So those are the 4 events that I am participating in. And now we will move on to chatter. I don't have much to talk about in chatter. It has only been a week. With last year being bi-weekly podcasts, I feel like I had a lot more to talk about. And last week's podcast was done after the weekend, so I kind of reviewed that weekend already. And it's just been a work week, and it's Friday, which will be my regular recording day. That's my hope, is that I will be recording every Friday. So it's just been a work week and really not much has happened. I have finished a book though. It is called Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It was a very cute romance novel. It's about a book agent and a book editor and their trials and tribulations of falling in love with each other, having to work together and, being attracted to each other. And it's mostly about the book agent and it's about her relationship with her sister and tropes in books and how that plays out in real life. And it's a very cute story with a happy ending. So it was very enjoyable. I gave it 3 stars, and I listened to that from my Libby app. So that was it. I have another couple books on the go right now, and then I will hopefully have one completed a book by next week as well. Other news for this week, I received the treadmill that I bought at the end of last year on Boxing Day. You know, excited that we got such a good deal on it. And of course, it came in a giant, heavy box. So that was fun trying to get all the pieces into the house. And then it took me and my son 2.5 hours to put it together. And I'm a pretty handy person. But it was just, yeah, it just took time to bolt everything in. And basically the treadmill, the bottom part is done, and you have to like attach the stand part and the console part. But you know, you have to, the plugging in of the wires was easy. It was just like, it was like all the bolts and putting them in the right place, and then actually getting, because some of them were in like underneath a thing, so we had to get like the socket extender in order to attach it properly. And there were some heavy things that my husband came to help me like hold some stuff up that Cooper wasn't able to handle, which is totally fine because trust me, it was like 500 pounds. Like it's heavy. Treadmills are heavy, but it is now built. I have done a full hour walk on it once this week. So that is helping towards my goal of getting walks in as many days as I can. We'll see whether I have time today to do that. It is already getting dark outside, and it's family movie night. So the other thing that I did do this week is I went to a Zumba class. Now, some of you may or may not know that in my past, I was a Zumba instructor. I love Zumba classes. Dancing is a big part of my life. My friend and I had signed up for adult dance classes, and in the end, they got canceled because there wasn't enough people interested, which is very sad. But the Zumba class had a few spaces, so we decided to do that instead, and it was really good. I'm feeling a little bit sore today, but not as like jello-legged as I thought I would be, so calling that a win. We will see tomorrow. Usually it's like the day after I'm okay, and then the next day it's like, oh, I did something. So I'm planning a hot tub tonight for sure to help my muscles relax, and family movie night tonight, and to keep up on my workout goals. Hopefully I can put a walk on the treadmill tomorrow if I don't do it today. Yeah, and that is about everything that I have to talk to you today. So I hope you have a great week knitting, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.